I never faced with a problem like this yet. Usually, if they disconnect me, there'll be something about connect to the network anyway, so whatever. Uh, I'm missing this time this option. I got disconnected basically for the reasons that you see right here because they monitor every post I type. My posts on the blogger, they never go real time immediately when I push the button. They're always turned into a draft and then they are turned into a real time posting. And this time I involved a threat with which they brainwashed me during MK Ultra. My goodness, they must have involved this death threat through artificial intelligence, basically using all right, so I don't appreciate this kind of stuff here. Very unusual. What I am going to do is check this out. It's showing even that adapter doesn't exist. So that's stuff I'm going to take time and we'll go to actually see this adapter because I am using an option for me to the wireless option basically, unless somebody like totally, I'm in the kitchen, this is what I'm doing. It appears they, shit. You know what this is? I think they uninstalled my adapter. They must have uninstalled my adapter. I was gonna go and check the router, but it doesn't make any sense because, or maybe it does make sense. Who the hell knows? Oh, let's turn it off, this thing. Let's connect one back. Uh, okay, basically, I missed the opportunity to literally video record a button indicating I am connected to the internet without demonstrating wireless connections. This is how they have, the wireless button that you have on a laptop. And that stuff is used for you to, shit. All right, so I'm trying to step in front of the mirror. This is just a video to go fast, but I think it's worthy for me to record this stuff. This is a laptop, and this is the button that you would have. This button right here is that you would use. This is a wireless button here that you see. This button here that's flashing right next to the power. You can't go wrong. Actually, that's not a power. What is that thing? Oh, that's for the sound, whatever. I never use it. Okay, so uh, this is rather fascinating to me that you would have. It doesn't matter. I already demonstrated it. Even a button indicating that you have the internet, wireless internet option turned on, and is actually when you're thrown out, you're disconnected, and when you check for, that's why I took the screenshot of this stuff here because I couldn't understand what the fuck. I never got this kind of message. Um, learn about internet connection problem. This stuff here. This is what I never get this. This kind of stuff. I never get this kind of stuff. I never got this kind of stuff ever before. At the same time, the light indicated on the button, as I stated, I am still opting for the wireless internet to which I was just connected. And so how the hell they did this kind of stuff? How the hell you do that kind of stuff? Because you are able to see the button is completely also isolated from the keyboard. And you have to reach out on a special occasion to have one disconnected. On the other hand, the title, which I just finished to get disconnected, read it like this. This is basically what the title read. The title clearly read, now King Charles claimed in late stages of MK Ultra. Oh, what we're gonna do is like this. I'm in no fucking hurry. I do not suffer from anxiety. Oh shit, now I have to connect myself to the internet. I'm not the one. You got a wrong person. So when you connect to the internet, it basically looks like this. Connect to the internet without setting it up. Not like you have seen over there. It demonstrated. Learn about the internet connection problem and such. So I want to learn about the stuff that's really, really important to me. It's extremely, extremely important to me, this stuff here. Because this kind of stuff destroyed my life. Everybody involved in MK Ultra knew about stuff that I stated. Artificial intelligence, threats, hijacking. It wasn't about only bus stops, train stations. It wasn't about forest areas, all kinds of locations with which they threatened me, they're going to hijack me. But it was also about artificial intelligence. And when I say artificial intelligence, don't look at me crazy. I am basically talking about this stuff here. I'm going to put underneath, I'm going to put this video here. I like this video that this lady who was involved in MK Ultra also have created. And numerous people warned me that I do have to post a video as a secret here to protect myself.
Out of hand that the creator of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, wants us to.
So I have chosen, I'm going to put the video from her because she was involved in this stuff and she really did a very good job at
chess is ancient history. Today, AI is broadly characterized.
So it should be more like, what is it, Deepfakes or whatever it is? Yeah, Deepfakes are like, I didn't even probably stop. Yeah, Deepfakes. This is the one I'm going to put. All right. So this is the stuff I'm going to do.
A fun way to be someone else.
Psychiatrist Peter Kapsch was completely insane and have with the Slovenian police orchestrated, engineered beginning the 2015 with anyone who would see along the road, farmers, workers, anybody that he would come across during the hiking. He would go and demand from them all kinds of wild, crazy theories, which people would have to come in my face and state them. So that in the environment where I am locked, basically incarcerated in, you do understand that this is restraint. You do understand under extreme circumstances. I would produce as many as crazy, irrational, erratic, paranoid, schizophrenic statements as possible. Let me tell you, if you get to sleep, you have a problem with your liver, with your kidney, and you get to sleep about 4 hours a day, that easily can happen to an individual under the circumstances I'm facing. When you're assaulted and you have things going on, easily you can produce stupid, crazy statements. You don't have to be crazy even a little bit. You don't have to be paranoid. You don't have to be schizophrenic to become, I'm going to say, even delusional. I'm going to say even what this case should be acknowledged as. Yeah, but it's not going to be because I am not paranoid, not schizophrenic, even tiniest little bit. A case of delirium. When I state delirium, this is a physical condition that individuals suffer due to physical problems, pain, unbearable pain, sleep deprivation, stuff that will cause person suffering, physical suffering. Uh, Americans had a big problem with the psychiatrist Peter Koch because his thesis demanded from Americans, from others, to accept this like some sort of competition for which psychiatrist Peter Koch says, well, no, Mr. Police, Slovenian government from Ljubljana demanded equality based on a disease. But you're talking about a physical disease, failure of the kidney, failure of the kidneys, liver, lymphoma cancer, problems they have created on a leg, that disallows one even to utilize a normal walking, broken spine, damaged spine issues. That's what psychiatrist Peter Koch demanded from Americans and others to be seen as whatever he would obtain based on these issues that he is running, and what he's running is nothing other than crime, that I should be judged upon, whether I'm normal or not normal. And it's something that Americans have acknowledged him, is that he is trying to equal basically problem with the kidney, with the liver. You know, the liver patients, they told me that this is the worst thing that can happen to you. It's the people sometimes they get to sleep 2 hours and so on. And we want to complain about the genocides and in so many details with people totally unwilling to assist, actually using psychiatry, which they have used against me in 2013 to even hospitalize me. This isn't about forced unemployment only. This isn't about income on a budget or something like that, something like this. It's about no fucking budget at all. It's about 20 euros in your pocket, lost 20 euros, and you pissing in a bucket. Like, for instance, I just took the video of what had happened tonight. This is already since November. Listen to this.
That's quite a large amount of urine inside here. I did some hiking, really good hiking.
You like to have a urine like this? There's a lot of fucking urine in there. There's maybe 2 liters of urine. Like
Yeah,
liter
here
and a
are the
half for
results.
sure. Why would you gonna have a waste your life on 51 years of genocide of brutality, basically, to
They caused so
face
much
off with
damage to
some
me
lunacy like this?
that beginning like 2010, I think, beginning 2008 actually, that's how much damage they were doing with this human butcheries. They would literally use for me during the hiking intravenous hydration techniques.
Let me stop here. Did you heard what I stated right now? I stated here in this portion of the video they used beginning of 2008 during the hiking intravenous hydration techniques. What this is? Intravenous hydration? Fluids they brainwash me with that I have to tell you viewers, that I have to tell you people who watch this program about which fluids exactly they used on me. Which were the fluids they used, because my body even rejected fluids, certain fluids. See what this is? You understand this kind of stuff? It did happen to me during MK Ultra when I was drugged up, that even during the walk, when I was walking, they attached to me what you see here. And I had no idea whether they did this to make me believe, see something that was not, or was it for me to actually really receive the liquid. They were doing this kind of, Slovenian police did, with physicians. And let's see this video a little further here.
It was Lindsey Graham who visited
Do you know who Lindsey Graham
Slovenia
is?
just
American
a few days
politician?
ago. That's right during the attack on me at Šmarješka Toplice. That's interesting.
One time, boy, the police went panic during the hiking, claiming that I was completely dehydrated and my kidneys completely locked up. They had this connected to me, and it didn't happen one time, it happened more than one time, and they indicated exactly what the situation was with my body. And my kidneys locked. There was no water, it didn't process, everything went into hell. And that's how it all started already in 2008. You know what I told you about the human butcheries, what they were doing indoors inside? That they were fucking destroying the kidneys and consequently liver and causing consequently damage to heart and other issues. And this shit is connected to artificial intelligence more than anything else. They can make you disappear, easily disappear. And what they could possibly even suggest repair and do crazy stuff like this.
And what is important to note?
The psychiatric hospitalization in 2013 was used for MK Ultra hijackings. It was used for additional torture to cause more harm, to cause more damage. When they observed they have created irreversible damage, then they released. Then they started to assist in respect to MK Ultra. As for everything else, throughout my entire life, beginning at age 6 months, I was labeled as lunatic, as crazy, insane.
Is that Slovenian government at one point went completely crazy because my kidneys rejected
All right, so I already told you the story about this shit.
Contacted America. Immediately he was in Slovenia.
This stuff here, commenced in 2008. The news about Lindsey Graham did not appear absolutely anywhere on the internet. I haven't seen one from Slovenian media. But what's interesting is he was in Slovenia. There was no news about it, but he was in Slovenia during assault on me at Šmarješke Toplice, which I also posted, this guy here. And it's also what he stated, it's also what he promised the case would be. And I'm saying this because I don't really know whether he really was in Slovenia or not. You can take photos, you can do this stuff behind the doors, behind the palaces and stuff they do. Sometimes they even take photos in other parts of the world where they don't appear and so on, and use them on other occasions. As for the information released here, I don't really know whether he was not, or maybe he still is. He apparently departed the day after my assault on me, Šmarješke Toplice. But this is a characteristic for the politic that Slovenia is running. Slovenia, whenever they orchestrated a crime, whatever crime, they always got the platform. They always got the support from abroad. Otherwise, Slovenia would chicken out. They did not go for it. Only with the support, only with assurance from the politicians from abroad. Their involvement, they do go and they exercise the crime against one. You have seen what I posted, luckily, even on September the 4th, immediately as it took place. You saw this stuff, right? What happened? I didn't waste no time on this stuff. There is an important issue that I failed to mention.
Me at Šmarješke Toplice.
The important issue here is that Slovenian psychiatry used to cause enormous damage, ruin my life, decimate my life, basically wipe, delete, destroy my life, and have even used labeling me for the paranoid schizophrenic as mentally ill man, as I stated, to hijack me, to make me disappear and do this stuff. What the fuck in my world, in the world I am, since the age 6 months is not possible. For stating what I stated here, I'm not paranoid. I'm not crazy.
Somebody had prepared this stuff here, was opened, and
This is upon my return yesterday from the hiking.
it looked like it was closed. I didn't like that feature.
This is a door behind the room where I am.
Feature, that's why I became immediately suspicious, was this door here was...
Just a moment here.
This door here.
I'm sure that you saw me holding a hammer in my hand.
I didn't like that feature.
Have you seen that stuff?
And another feature.
Have you seen me holding a hammer in my hands?
Feature. That's why I became...
You saw it. This shit, this door, this window can't be opened unless you use the hammer. You cannot open one because the hinge is so tight, you need to use a hammer to open one. And the door was closed in such a way that I can state to you, sure enough, was not closed.
Became immediately suspicious was
But it wasn't about the door
this
only.
door here was unlocked.
The door I'm going through
The
right
door
now was
probably
unlocked,
not
actually.
secured.
It was, excuse me, the door was locked in such a way that if you would push just tiny little bit, it was with extreme precision locked. So that when you would try, it would be locked. But as you would just turn the key, just like millimeter maybe, it would just pop right out open. So whoever the fuck was doing this kind of stuff with the window and with the door, I can tell you, I can testify you, he did a really, really good job. He was a professional. He 100% knew what he was doing.
The whole suspicion triggered this thing here.
That's a loosey rod right there. I use that kind of stuff to jam the hooks. That's how I protect myself. Really loosey.
The doors.
Well, that kind of stuff and this kind of stuff here that you see, this
Want to
stuff
be
can
the next
land you
Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic? No problem.
somewhere
With some
else
deepfake magic, you could sink
real
with
fast.
the boat. But as
Because
technology
psychiatric
advanced,
hospital
deepfakes got a little too
doesn't
real.
make
The
arrangements
fakes
to
started
pick you
getting
up.
better and the apps behind them easier to use, and that poses a problem. Because for the longest time we've said that seeing is believing, but that may not be the case anymore. You shouldn't believe everything you see. It may be fake or a deep fake. What does that even mean? What is a deep fake? How can you spot one? Is it blurring the line between fiction and reality? And why? What you saw was a deep fake video. The face was his, the words were not. And yet, it's almost convincing, also dangerous. But that's not how it began. Deep fake started out as face.
I'm having a problem because of the people, because of the type of people who are involved in it. I'm having a problem because of the stuff I see is going on. The stuff this man was involved demanded from me to give a public views of somebody who would want to portray himself as a paranoid schizophrenic. If I would not declare that I am a victim of MK Ultra, people 100% would get a very fast idea about my being paranoid schizophrenic, mentally ill individual who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. This individual severely was involved in this torture here, for which I stated yesterday also. I encountered some crazy stuff as I was returning on the bridge, on a very tall bridge, when I was returning on the hiking. I was doing a hiking and I find an ornament just like the one you see right there, and for which Slovenian police, with a group of people from Novo Mesto whom they used, insisted, dictated for me to post this, as this will be like, they claimed me that Princess Bayrikiti Aba is the next door to me. This is the torture that commenced in the year 2008, and it was extremely intensive, and it was extremely painful, and it did not involve through the sleep, most severe sleep deprivation, extreme physical torture did not pertain only to Slovenia, but went also abroad to the United States of America, especially to Great Britain and other areas of Europe, world, Asia. Placing an object like this to the person, for the person to see, is extremely malicious. If it would come from me in a form of either way, I would declare this different than what I did, and I stated here, it's malicious. I will act against police, against the people who are involved in this stuff. This probably is not what you want to. You see what this is? This is a very, very deep, steep bridge. This was recorded on this location here, and it was interpreted to me in the worst way possible, because everything was based on toxicity, because they wanted me to hate my life, because they wanted me to hate absolutely everything that light has to offer, and because of the damage, physical harm they have done to me. Psychiatry also makes sure that I would delay a visit to physicians, to the people who would offer a solution, diagnosis for the problem I have. Through what they labeled me in 2013, have taken absolutely no responsibility for the genocide against me, which they commenced openly in 2013. Although they were involved since 6 months of age in my life, they took no responsibility, and they demanded basically for me to drop dead, literally. As I said, I don't like the Slovenian police to investigate this stuff, because they're criminals who ran and did this kind of stuff for the cost of the money that people from abroad have to offer. And now King Charles does have the money to offer, doesn't it? Lindsey Graham was here to confirm negotiations which he started with Slovenian politicians in respect to nuclear reactor, a nuclear facility number 2 in Slovenia, already back in 2018, 2019 for sure. 2018 it started with Tanya Fayon, Golob, and people that were appointed now as the ministers, prime ministers, and so on. Slovenia is not a civilized country. This is not a civilized society. This is a barbaric, murderer state, a nation without absolutely conscience of any kind, unwilling to take responsibility for the deadly deeds, for the deadliest deeds they have managed to produce, literally through the butchery, as I stated, because the body would not give in. They deliberately, maliciously went ahead to cause physical injuries to my body. I do have the reason to fear for whatever is left out of my life. I don't even know if it's worth it for me to live this life anymore. But one thing is certain, I do have even the reason to fear for what I stated. My mother bought these chocolates, and with the time I will consume them, I will use them to my
Somebody
potential.
went completely insane in respect to the chocolate.
With the raisins, that's how you unlock the kidneys. That's how you give the kidneys water. You water them so the body functions.
I bought myself this here, you see, chocolate.
I bought the peaches. Mother doesn't buy peaches. Mother doesn't buy apples, whatever. We don't have any apples. They make sure this year
Little bite,
there would be no fruit.
and drink a lot of water to increase the liquid and have one processed by the kidneys. Because for the kidneys I bought this in the mornings to drink maybe a liter and a half of water with what you see here and oatmeal. I would do this to get the kidneys run, work, operate, increase to a lot of liquid, and then I would do other stuff. But this here, this is something else. This is this grew into quite a well, I mean, it's gonna come maybe handy over course of the time, but I do this when I need, according to my needs. Basically, is what I do. It's also the best thing you can use for depression. You can't beat chocolate, something like this to calm you down and go and do about other stuff. Yeah. Because this is what they forced me into. This was my life, basically, was depression when I was like really the age when I was 3 years old. Psychiatrists and psychologists told me in the city of the Novo Mesto. Imagine, I became stressed out like a mouse when I was 3 years old because of this MK Ultra barbaric things.
It was already earlier, but
violence that went on.
3 years old, I really knew what went on.
It was so traumatic. It was so terrible. The most resistance of all the little babies, I was the one. I will never forget this. I was the one. It was other babies that they just completely lost themselves totally. They were destroyed psychologically. But I was the most resistant one. And I lasted without any kind of anything. Maybe I endured about a year and a half, maybe. Well, opposed to other babies, they would last about maybe month, maybe 2 months.
Yeah, the thing is that after that year and a half, I started to get stuff like this to support myself. It's gonna be explained in continuation. Other babies, there was no solution for them anymore. When they started to when they developed depression and stuff, mental issues, they went down so fast, so quick. It was such a roller coaster rocker for their health, mental health, and everything else consequently that you possibly cannot imagine. I survived the life. It did go with a struggle that went on for like a year and a half before I started to use this stuff. And I managed to survive life with this. As for the others, it's exactly what I stated.
Anything. Maybe I endured about a year and a half, maybe. Well, opposed to other babies, they would last about maybe month, maybe 2 months. You are the most resistant babies to this shit that went on would last maybe about I don't know if anybody, maybe exclusively 2 babies. It was other babies subjected to MK Ultra. I will not lie to you, 6 months. If you did the 6 months like a baby, subjected to the MK Ultra violence, that was ultra violence. You did outstanding. I will tell you the truth. You did outstanding if you did. They already rated you as something different. But I went on without absolutely anything, without food, without nothing, for like a year and a half. And they still couldn't do anything. And then they started to do really the stuff that anybody would cause a nervous breakdown. And it was these sessions, and they told me, it might have been not at age 3. At age 4, for 100%, it was at age 4. They told me, we have 2 things the mother is going to give you. One is sweets. Sweets. At that time, I did not know much about the sweets. At that time, how can I say? I tried sweets, but I didn't know much about the sweets. I know the mother gave me sweets.
When this was said to me, I look at the mom, and mom even had to remind me what the fuck that was. That's how much I knew about it. I knew nothing about it. And when she reminded me, I already knew what they're trying to tell me before she reminded me. But she made me like understand what this is.
But I didn't know much about sweets. I didn't even get any sweets. By that time, by age 4, I would barely know about sweets. My mother said, oh, that's something I already gave you. Maybe twice that I tried, and it was a chocolate. I wasn't crazy about it. I did recognize the taste of the chocolate because my mother told me what exactly we were talking about. I was capable, when she mentioned to me, I should say, I was capable to relate to that stuff. I was capable to relate to that stuff. But until then, I tried maybe chocolate, sweet stuff twice in my life. That was like age 4. This is the way it is. I remember absolutely everything. And they told me, we have this here. You're going to have to be very careful because the weight will explode to you if you will exaggerate. And then we have some other stuff. And those, I think, were injections.
Yes, there were injections. They didn't have anything else that time. They had injections for depression. I also want to state what I stated right now was repeated to me on another occasion when I was a few years older. And they literally pointed me, demonstrated me children, babies, basically, what that looks like, what that stuff will do to you.
Antidepressants. That if we give it to you, this is the way it was at age 4. They talked to me at age 4 like I would be fucking 30, 40 years old. This is MK Ultra. There's no age in MK Ultra. In MK Ultra, they talk to you when you're a baby like you're 30, 40 years old, not like 20. Shit. It's like you know the fucking life already. Like you lived your life. I mean, like fucking. If I would talk like this to somebody, fuck, I hope I would not come across the person that is less than 30 years old. You understand? And they told me, we give that second thing, it will destroy you. most likely everybody, that's like the worst thing. So I felt like a baby. I was just chocolate, far from experiencing total disaster. And they did give me examples of some kids that were completely fucked up, obese, and totally broken. It was like this, and I watched as I went along. I did stone myself with this shit. At age, I don't know, I became sturdy. I started to gain fat because the stuff they did to me required this shit, literally. So they started to change my. They started to kill me in every possible way. They were playing with. They were playing with. This isn't social engineering. Understand? This is no fucking social engineering. That kind of stuff is not a social engineering. That kind of stuff, the stuff I'm talking to you about, is just a way to kill somebody. So, I want you to understand this shit. The growth hormone injections occasionally given.
They started with the fucking hormone injections, and what was a retardation of the growth of the human development. Injections is basically to kill the growth hormone type injections, inserting in my body to demonstrate its effects. It started at my age 6 months old. It came over the years eventually into what you see right here, behind the closed doors inside of this house. They started to do the stuff like this. They started to play with this. It went into lifting to human butchery.
Really good hiking.
That's quite a crazy place to do something, as I stated. I condemn this. And it ended basically what you see right here.
We have some heartbreaking news regarding
That's basically what it ended with. It ended with the front news, as you see right here. Look at good this news. It's related to this stuff here. He just got days to live. He struggled with the alcohol abuse, whatever. He was involved in MK Ultra. His band, everybody was involved in MK Ultra. And I'm using this news to tell you that every news that was reported onwards from 2018 about people dying with diseases and so on that Yahoo published on its media, people who passed away, that they would pass away and this and that. I cannot say that every person who passed away. There might have been people who might have been killed. Who knows what the hell went on. But the stuff I'm talking about, including this stuff here, all this shit was involved in MK Ultra. And that basically, my friends, is the reason impossible for me to ignore. These are the things for me to impossible to ignore. Because psychiatrist Peter Kapsch was not the only one who was addicted to depicting me as a paranoid, as a schizophrenic, literally through delirium. Obviously, somebody else was in it to depict me as insane. To use absolutely everything possible in its hands to demonstrate me to the world, to make me demonstrate myself to the world as insane. An individual that you see right here, and that's why I started also with the video with concerning Princess Bairakiriaba, Thailand, claimed he would have a second marriage, just as I stated here in the title. When the time would come for me and Princess Bairakiriaba also to get married, so that we together we would get married one more time. It would be the first time and then it would be a second time. But the question on this issue already was answered with a post I also underlined, that brainwash involves extremely heavy physical torture. This issue, in the way I see it, this is unlikely. This is likely when I grab you for the balls, like I did, when I prove who you are, what you have done. That's very likely, because now it's going basically for your ass. But this is like I would tell somebody, listen, man, in year 3000, I'm going to buy you a brand new Ferrari or something like this. Or in a year 3000, I'm going to give you $1 trillion as a gift and so on. The chances for this truth to come out didn't exist. And it extremely bothers me because this individual who is posing here at something he was part, he is posing again there. He is repeating the news. He is rehearsing something he already had done. I already told you that these people, before they do something public, or in case they might not even be capable sometimes to do, but they want to be seen in media, and they're using their photographers, their journalists to publish something that in fact already have happened in the past. In the world like this, where in this here that I see myself, I participated, they had me, and Charles, Camilla both even blame me for what was titled at the Yahoo as Exodus. This news released even yesterday.
All right.
Esther was involved in MK Ultra. The lady that she slept on the floor like I do. She did this in the name of the solidarity with me. Burning Man event was heavily involved in MK Ultra with a Kanye West, with entire Hollywood in this thing. It's what Prince Charles have stated me, that he's going to lay this rat, and that what he will do is, under the news, there will be no second marriage, there will be no second wedding, will be used to remind me of what I have done to the Thai princesses, such as Bairi Kitiaba and her sister Siri Banavari. They compared me basically to a mass murderer, a serial killer who destroyed lives of numerous people. This bastard who really caused murders and genocide in the Balkans and in other parts of the world compared me eventually. This murder, this mass killer, which is worse than Adolf Hitler, liable for, throughout his family history, for lives of billions of people, compared me to something what I stated. And I'm pretty damn sure, I'm pretty damn certain that if you did by any chance visit any British website, and now even international media, because they did stink everything with their scandals. Those are scandals. What I'm talking about is genocide. You can read again about Prince Harry, whose problems started with my revelation about the British throne. Prince Harry is facing enormous crisis, yet his attitude, his behavior, as he alone suggested me, is a copycat of my earlier life when I was in the United States. He seems cannot climb out of his problems related to the British family, to the British royals. And he's just having more and more and more and more problems with them, with a family, appears like, is what Prince Harry. You see, these are obviously the kings of the paranoia. These are the kings of the schizophrenia. As I stated earlier, this never was about any marriage with any princess or anything like this. This all was about demands from me to see myself in a mental illness. And that kind of marriage, that kind of relation, I also do acknowledge now as a mental illness, as a bullshit, which British royals demanded from me to see myself in. And we could go back to that issue of the Ferrari in the year 3000 and $1 trillion, which I mentioned a little earlier. Express UK will forgive me for this news. Impossible for Prince Harry to meet with the King Charles this week, as firm is still angry. Yeah, this is basically the stuff they demanded from me to keep silent about what went on behind the doors of the Buckingham Palace. I was in every fucking palace the British royals have. There is no home, there is no palace. No, that probably is, but if I was to answer a police questionnaire, which King Charles deliberately avoided by even moving out of the Buckingham Palace, as he stated, because I keep mentioning one. I keep mentioning one, sir, because this is your official address. This is what the world knows you about. Whatever the hell you are hiding, your identity these days. As a matter of fact, since it all started in 2018, when no longer you possibly could refuse the truth about what you did to me. So you are a fucking chameleons, a liars, a psychopath, indeed murderous psychopaths, who took absolutely no responsibility for what I demonstrated to you earlier. The difference between you and psychiatrist Peter Kopp, Slovenian police, whom you have used against me beginning the age 6 months, is the one that you hand them a paychecks through the Slovenian government. They do the dirty work for you. As for the Princess Bairi Kitty Abba, Freddie Mercury was involved in MK Ultra. He made tremendously a lot of work for the British Royals. He had to, because this is how it functions. This is how the things are going. These songs perfectly portray them and the people, victims, they demand to see themselves in, I should say within. And for the Princess Bairi Kitty Abba, the only thing I'm going to say when it comes to this song known as Scandal, by the way, for me, Freddie Mercury, a band, Queen, is just state of the art, the best of the best, the way I see it. Although I cannot relate in absolutely any way to the, I can relate to the issues, but I don't see myself in songs that were written basically for me to literally, I don't know, eat myself out or something, fail myself completely. I can't. It was a part of the deal that British royals, however, demanded from every artist that was willing to commit himself to their crime. And it's a question whether you can even commit yourself to a better life, to better quality of life, if you don't sign what I stated right now. See this here? This here. It's only life to be twisted and broken. They will see the heartache, they will see our love break, and so on and so on. A private affair, non existing affair, a paranoia, a schizophrenia. A way of life which many people throughout the world more and more blame Freemasonry for it. And I issued the video about the Freemasonry today. However, the Freemasonry doesn't have anything to do with it. What it's got to do with it are the people that are running this crazy show. And these people are in London and doing exactly what I stated in this video they're up to. They're up to no fucking good. They couldn't resolve this problem within 51 years of time they had. It all added to what you see right there. And Freddie Mercury stated me personally, he was involved from beginning to the end. He personally stated me, it's not for God's sakes. Just think about forgot, forgotten, for God's sakes. And that's a phrase Prince Andrew always used and is using. He loves about for God's sakes, which in his head is for God's sakes. All right. Thanks for watching this video. Now I won't have to waste my time typing a comment.
Swaps, a fun way to be someone else.
To this issue here. Very provocative. It's time for somebody to point where the humanity is going through what it appears tremendously through the psychiatry, police, or this is not about the organized crime and so on. This is about what I say, this is about the genocide. And I'm not about to let it go anytime soon, ever. Thanks for watching this video. For artificial intelligence purposes, please don't mistake me with this creature here. Please don't do that. We're gonna do it this way. When I stated to you earlier that psychiatry Peter Kapsch demanded from me also to talk and talk and talk about the environment he involved in. He did so that I would produce as many as possible other not believable videos or whatever. And he really did this for this purpose here. To make you look as crazy as possible, literally, and disappear. One thing is when you are hijacked at some truck stop, and I'm not saying that through the artificial intelligence can happen. So far, the British Royals have used Psychiatric Hospital Ljubljana Polje, police, Slovenian legal system for these purposes. But in life, whatever is the hell you are, you never know. So take care of yourself.